episode of Crime and Coffee Couple. I am Mike.
And I am Allison.
Yeah, baby girl. And we are a couple that drinks some coffee and talks about some crimes and other happenings and, just interesting stories that we like to share with our listeners here. So thanks for gathering around. It's my turn this week. We take turns, and I'm going to be going over quite an interesting little case here. So but before we get started, definitely follow us online on Instagram and Twitter. We're Crime and Coffee, the number 2. So Crime and Coffee 2 on each of those. We've been interacting with fans and stuff. I'm kind of the social media guru. Would you call me a guru?
I would call you a guru.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about social media outside of just posting pictures. Like this whole Reels thing on Instagram just kind of baffles me. And then we got this TikTok thing, from you kids today. So we're going to have our daughter, who's like 10, probably help us out with TikTok, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So that's coming pretty soon. And then YouTube, obviously you hear me talking about it every week. And I screw up something every week to get the video going.
It's been interesting.
Yeah. So would you say it like you think less of me because of my ability to...
No.
Okay.
Don't be silly.
At least not audibly, right?
We don't know what bubbles under the surface here, Mike, but we're going to leave it there.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
I always say at work, if only people could hear the thoughts in my head, it'd be ugly.
Yeah. And it's, it's kind of interesting because it feels like you kind of say every thought in your head.
Oh, I keep some under wraps.
Do you? Good.
Yeah, especially at work.
Well, if you could do that more, I think that'd be very helpful.
I don't know that I'm capable of that at the house.
People out there, keep as much as you can inside.
No,
Don't
that's
share
bad
it.
for the soul.
I know, I'm just kidding. But for you, it's good. For you, it's good.
So I can rot and fester in my soul?
Well, not everything. Maybe leave out 5%. Talk about the 5%. And it should only be happy things.
I'm a sharer.
Yeah, you sure are. You share a lot of things, a lot of complaining, a lot of belly aching. But you're very strong. You're a strong-willed person. You're very strong. And our thing about you is she complaining. Yeah, so you do some complaining. It's okay. But you do a lot. So, hey, that's okay. So, yeah, follow us on the social media stuff. And I was actually talking to a couple of our listeners here this week. Erin, she pointed out that our feed wasn't working on, what was it? Stitcher. It wasn't working on Stitcher. It wasn't like updating for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah. So sorry if anybody listens to us on Stitcher. I and then right as Erin emailed, right as she had messaged, I emailed Stitcher. Was like, hey, what's going on here? But they were super quick.
Oh, that's nice. So they fixed it?
Yeah, same day, like hours later.
Oh, so, good. Well, thank you, Erin, for pointing that out and letting us know.
And then she said, hey, you guys need to try an espresso machine for your coffees. And I was like, oh, girlfriend.
We got it.
Yeah, we got this. So we got the Nespresso. I actually have a shot in my coffee, and you have like one every single day.
Every day I put a shot of espresso in mine.
Yeah.
It just enhances the taste of the coffee. We like strong coffee. We were staying at a resort a couple weeks ago with our cousin. She made the first pot of coffee, which I thought was fine. And then I made the second pot, and she's like, whoa, oh my goodness, it's strong. Right. And we were saying, like, I put a scoop of coffee in for every cup, and then a scoop at the end for good luck.
That was my question. How many scoops per cup if you have a drip coffee maker, which we just do Keurig now?
Yeah, but at this time we were using a drip stuff. And when I say a scoop, it's like a tablespoon, not like a official tablespoon, like a big spoon.
Like a big spoon you get in your drawer.
Yeah, and it was heaping. Yeah. So
that's probably 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, we want to grow some hair on our chests.
Yeah.
Which you don't need any help with, Mike.
Yeah, or my shoulders for that matter.
No, we need to shave you down.
Or back,
again.
or any of those areas.
He's a silverback gorilla.
Yeah, I sure am. So that just means a lot of testosterone.
Yes, it
and
does.
A lot of love to share.
So there are some really cool espresso machines, though. Like our friend, we were in Illinois visiting, and her mom has like a fancy Keurig. It does all sorts of things.
Oh yeah, by really cool, you probably mean expensive.
I don't know how much it costs, cheapo.
Well, I mean,
Scrooge.
Probably more than the $100 we spent on our Keurig, I would say.
Oh, probably more than $100.
Well, what I'm thinking is these DeLonghinis that are like $1,000 or something.
Oh, those are the big guns.
I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I have no idea. I don't know the name of them. I just know like Bobby Flay has one in his kitchen, and people who have it are like in love with it.
Well, it's all about the pressure that you press through the beans, and that the Nespresso does an okay job. It does a pretty good job from what I understand. I mean, I love it, but I guess these DeLonghinis, it's the bars of pressure or something.
Yeah, that makes sense to extract as much as you can out of the bean. But here's my question. We don't have the best water. Like, we don't have a water softener. So like our inside of our Keurig, you have to like descale with vinegar and whatnot. So I wonder if that would kind of make it not as good.
I mean, if you put bad crap into a good machine, it's not going to make it better.
Like these Richies, like Bobby Flay probably has like the top of the line everything.
Well,
so.
you can use distilled water probably.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just too much.
we should buy like a gallon of distilled or something. And just
I mean,
kinda
it's
keep it on the
super
side.
cheap.
Right. Hey, why not?
Yeah, something.
Give it a shot.
Something
We'll
to think
try
about.
next week. We'll let you know how it goes.
See if we taste a difference.
Yeah, we had another listener, Colleen, reach out. She said that she feels like we're just kind of talking to her because we talked about a lot of different things she was going through, like our dogs. We kind of lost our chihuahuas around the same time frame and stuff. So
I'm sorry for you, Colleen.
yeah, very sorry. It's one of those things, and she has a pug too.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Aw, pugs are such special little dogs.
Yeah, they're so. It's funny. We
I
have one
love
next
them.
door. Our dog Poppy always runs around with the pug next door. They're like little buddies.
Yeah, they run back and forth on the fence together. And mind you, our little Shorky, Poppy, has to wear a pillow around her neck. I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the podcast, but she's small enough to fit through a couple of grates of our fence. There's just certain parts that a gap's too big, and she's so tiny she can fit right through. So she has to have this pillow that buttons around her neck. She
And
looks hilarious.
the little witch, if you don't put the pillow on her, she beelines right for the fence and knows she can get through.
Yeah, she just hops through like it's nothing.
Yep, just puts her head through first, and the head fits, so the rest does. Okay, boop, boop, boop,
Oh,
and see you
she's
guys
so
later.
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we love pugs. But speaking of our Chihuahua, I don't know if we mentioned last week, did we, that our friend Lauren gave us a painting. Lauren and Mark gave us a painting
can't
of
remember.
Stella. It was just so special. Lauren, one of our best friends, her father-in-law does pet paintings,
Mm-hmm.
and she surprised us with a portrait of Stella, and it just brought tears to our eyes.
Maybe we'll post it just so people can see it.
Yeah, he did such a good job. So it's hanging in our family room, and
Special piece.
yeah. So
She was a good girl. So, and real quick, I just wanted to kind of talk about what I had going on. I know we're already like 6 minutes in.
that's okay. Don't worry about it.
I've been obsessed, absolutely obsessed with the show Friday Night Lights on Netflix. It's not new by any stretch of the imagination. It's like 10 years old, I think, even.
You're a little late to the party.
Yeah, very late. Like I can't talk to anybody about it because it's
No.
like, yeah, I saw that 10 years ago. So they're like,
Where the hell have you been, Mike?
I don't know. And I knew I would like it. So, but the thing is, I usually only watch things with you, right? So,
Well, you travel a shit ton now. You've been traveling like the past several weeks. Most of the week you're gone. And
I don't want to talk too much about that.
well, whatever, but
No, just in case, I mean, we're on a murder podcast, so
that's true.
yeah.
So anyway, you've been having more time in like a hotel room to watch things.
Yeah, absolutely. So airplanes and hotel rooms, whatever. So it's nice. I get to watch these things. I download them all, and it's just like Friday. It's just like Varsity Blues. Right? Remember Varsity
course,
Blues?
yeah.
So that was a football movie from way back. And I used to play high school football in Illinois. So this is all about high school football in Texas. And it's all the teenage drama. But there's also like
Ooh, you got some frogs there.
yeah, several frogs. I definitely it's about the whole culture of Texas football.
It's
And-
intense.
Yeah, and there's a really cute like married couple that's an adult couple, and it reminds me of us. Like they're both very respectful of each other, kind of like just have their shit together. You can tell they love each other. And there's also like a young couple that gets together young, and it kind of
like us?
Yeah, we got together at 16, so it reminds me of
Yes.
that. So
we were so cute back then.
yeah, and of course there's like tons of drama. Like a drama you would experience through like 4 years of high school happens in about a week at this
Okay,
place.
wow. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, but
It's like watching The Real Housewives.
it is.
Cameron, our son, is always like, how can they always be fighting?
It's like because their editors and directors tell them, here, you guys talk about this and go.
I'm a Real Housewives junkie, though.
Yeah, you just threatened me with physical violence because you said you were watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Well, you bumped me with the bathroom door. I'm like, you're messing with the wrong girl here. I was like, sorry, I was watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'll cut a bitch.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't cut a bitch because I'd be very, very sad to be cut right now.
Yes.
Yeah, so anything going on in your world?
Mike busted up our window yesterday when we were trying to wash windows. It's like, I have a task in mind. Let's get these damn windows washed. And you just busted the window.
Well, because I needed to take out the screen, and usually, to be fair, I do screw something up. Usually, we're living in like a 15-year-old house, so like
Things
stuff's-
start to need to be repaired.
Yeah, for sure. So the screen screens are one of them. I mean, the screen was kind of popping off, but as I was lifting the window, I guess I forget what they're even called, the balancers or the balance.
Nobody knows.
I know because I had to YouTube it
well,
yesterday.
I don't.
But I think they're called balance things. The things that like balance the window so it doesn't just slam on your fingers every time.
All I know is when I want to open my window, I want it to open. And when I want to close my window, I want it to close. I don't care how it's done. I don't care what's in there. I just want it to close and open.
Same here. But the problem is that one wasn't. And I don't want to pay some dude $500 to go fix it.
Well, meanwhile, it's still not fixed.
Right, correct. And I tried yesterday. But you can't, you don't know unless you try.
I appreciate your efforts for sure, but it totally derailed my window cleaning.
Yeah, well, the problem with you is you have these expectations. If they're not met, then, I get it. I get you wanted it done. It's not like I was trying not to.
Hey, I was chill about it, though, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And I was trying to help you.
And you've also said that it's my job today by myself to do it outside.
No, I did the bulk of our windows, and you're like,
Inside.
So we're going to finish?
no, I did all of them inside, and I did most of them outside.
We're going to finish? And you're like, so tomorrow we're going to finish?
I'm like, no, you're going to finish.
Well, that's okay because you said you're going to bake some bread, so I'm looking forward to eating that.
Yeah, I think I might delay that until next week.
Oh,
But I am making. Oh, and by the way, folks,
what are you doing all day?
And I don't know if if I mentioned this last week. Apparently, I have dementia. But if you're looking for a good vodka sauce, Barefoot Contessa's. I just had a stroke. You all just heard me have a stroke on the air. It's called like Nick and Tony's. I don't know what it's exactly called, but if you Google Barefoot Contessa vodka sauce, it is the bomb.
Yeah, it was delicious. You thought you made double, and you didn't.
I didn't think I made double. I made one single recipe, but I thought it would serve us for 2 nights.
Yeah.
I suggest if you're going to make it, double it.
Yeah.
It's super easy. It's a perfect Sunday recipe because it only takes like maybe 10 minutes to put together, and then you pop in the oven for like an hour and a half, and your whole house smells like a trattoria. Did I say that right?
It sounded like you were saying treachery, which is kind of
Trattoria?
scary, but trattoria.
Trattoria.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Italian's a little rusty.
It is ever since,
So I'm telling you, folks, you will not regret it. It's delicious.
Well, I learned that vodka sauce is made with cream, so really anything with cream in it is really
it's just
good.
a swirl of cream at the
So
end.
it's not a
so
ton.
like pink it.
Okay.
You take it from red to pink.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the kids loved it. And then on Sundays we like to sit with our bowl of pasta or whatever and watch something while we eat.
Yeah, family stuff.
Yeah.
Family
And
stuff.
yesterday we celebrated that we had gotten 10,000
Oh my
downloads.
gosh, I forgot. Yeah, so we got 10,000 downloads. Thanks so much for everybody listening. It's listeners like you. Like I'm talking to you. Yeah, who you listening right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and you and you. And you. And well, not that
That guy in the
person.
back too.
Yeah, why not?
So we went out for ramen as a family.
Yeah, so we're growing, man. If I could figure out this YouTube thing, I promise to try to figure it out as soon as possible. Hopefully by next week we'll get back on YouTube. So
yeah,
we'll see.
which I was kind of glad to not, because now I'm sitting in my sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same.
It's nice to, just be cozy.
But you still look pretty.
Well, thanks. I put some makeup on for you, Mike.
Oh, very nice. I appreciate that.
So you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do this thing. This is a little story told to me by my friend Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
We were out like a month ago or something, and he mentioned it. And so what I do, I go to my Google Keep and write down stuff.
Smart.
Yeah.
Because you think you're going to remember, but you don't.
Correct.
And
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
saying to you, I'm saying like to me.
Oh, no, me, I know I'm not going to remember anything.
Yeah, in one ear,
Basically.
out the other.
Yeah. So, okay, this one is the story of Chris Smith. Now,
That's a pretty, common name, Chris Smith.
Right. The unfortunate thing about that is that you Google Chris Smith birth date and college graduation date and a million different Chris Smiths come
I
up.
would imagine.
So there might not be those fine details like the exact day that he graduated, but I've got a lot of good details
Yeah,
in here.
good.
So
I'm excited because I've never heard of this particular Chris Smith.
and if you did, you probably forgot because it's a common name.
Yes.
So Chris Smith, he grew up in Watsonville, California, with his family near San Jose and San Francisco.
Okay.
Just to kind of give you a little geography, right nearby the Pacific Ocean and all that. His family was very active type, always be out and about. They lived near a lake and did a lot of wakeboarding and just water sports in general, water skiing, this and that.
I think a lot of people in California tend to be active because of the climate and just how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
And all the trails and such.
It's also the same for like Oregon, Washington.
Very healthy.
Oregon more so than Washington, probably because of the gray skies. But yeah, a lot of hiking, just able to get out there and go, and you see a lot of other people doing the same thing, and there were no exception here. Also, they'd get out to the Pacific Ocean a lot, do a lot of surfing.
Oh, sweet.
So just very active, good looking family. All very active. The family also did pretty well for themselves.
So is Chris the father?
No. Chris
Okay.
was a kid at this.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm talking about live near a lake, he's like the kid.
Okay, got it. And what year is this?
Right around like when he was born. Again, I couldn't find when he was born, but actually I should probably do the math because I know when he whatever. But in the like probably around the same time we were born.
So in the like
79, 80s.
yeah, we were born
90s.
in 1979.
This whole thing takes place in like 2008, 2009.
Okay. So he's close to our age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were like 42.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, his family was pretty well off. He was a very nice guy. You know, always shared the wealth with his friends if they needed something, buy something. You know, just whatever. Especially when he was young.
So his parents were paying for his friends,
Correct.
obviously. 'Cause,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So and like if somebody needed something, he'd be happy to share. Like through his bank account. So. So he was they did so much wakeboarding that at one point he became a professional wakeboarder.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately for a very short time because he injured his Achilles tendon.
Oh,
I guess apparently landing on water is the same as landing on concrete when you're going 50 miles an hour.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so pretty much ruptured his Achilles, and the Achilles tendon is a terrible, terrible injury. So, you injure that and you're pretty much done. And he was. So he ended up going to college, and then in 2009, he learned a bunch of business things. He kind of had aspirations of being a tech entrepreneur.
A lot of people in California.
Absolutely. So San Jose is like Silicon Valley, based.
Yeah.
I mean that's not like it is Silicon Valley. So
It's like Silicon
it's
Valley.
the exact same thing because
it is.
Yes. That's where Google and all the big online companies, not Amazon, but a lot of the big tech companies are born. So. Yeah, he had ambitions to be a tech entrepreneur. Didn't know exactly where, but he wanted to be the CEO of a tech company, basically. He had a couple small hit websites after graduation. One was localprofit.com. Some guy gave him some like old inventory, and he was able to kind of sell it off and make a quick profit. So he's like, why don't I do this for everybody? So any business owner that has a ton of like old crap that they want to sell, go to Local Profit, and somebody will take it off your hands and then make some profits off of it. In 1 month, he made $72,000.
Oh, that would be so nice.
So that was decently successful. I mean, it wasn't like every month. Like tech is up and down.
Yeah.
Like he might be doing nothing, like jack squat, because he's building a website and advertising, losing money. But then 1 month he made $72,000.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And that's not a year. That's in a month.
That would be nice.
And
Then we can call a guy out to fix our window.
Right. That wouldn't be a problem. So he started that one, which was fine. It kind of fizzled, and then he also started a social network for surfers called Swellster, which kind of fun name.
Yeah.
But neither one really got too successful. He was just kind of looking for the next big idea. So while he's in Laguna Beach, he co-founded a company called 800 Exchange, and this will be the one we're talking about here.
Okay.
So 800 Exchange, Exchange, with a guy named Edward Shin. Shin was a son of a Korean immigrant and had always been an overachiever. Just always, great test scores, very savvy with numbers, and very smart guy, basically. And 800 Exchange was their company, and it's a marketing or lead generation service that would advertise for things like banks and insurance companies, and then pass those leads onto businesses that would pay for them. So, like, basically, they'd run really generic commercials and just be like, refinance your mortgage now. Call 1-800, blah, 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 blah. Or like, hey, do you have a lot of credit debt? Call 1-800, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is. They're looking for people that could use the services of clients that they engage with, basically. So, like, a mortgage company would be like, okay, we'll pay you for, $20 a lead or whatever. And so they'd make the commercial, and then they'd give the leads to these mortgage companies.
Okay.
Sell them, basically. So not really like this isn't like helping the world kind of stuff or anything. This is just basically making it's kind of looked down on, but at the same time can be very lucrative.
Right.
So, they're making some really good money and basically living the good life. I mean, things are piping, running pretty smoothly, and just looking really good. And both Edward and Chris are looking pretty good right now. Chris was even able to take his family and some friends surfing in Tahiti on his own time.
Oh, sweet.
So money was absolutely flowing. So Chris and Ed ended up being pretty good partners with each other because they kind of filled each other's cracks. They were total opposites. Chris was kind of like surfer dude, party animal, like just liked to talk to people, jovial, kind of the outgoing guy, just one of those guys. He wouldn't be work like regular hours. He might show up at 11 after a surf and then, kind of work into the night. Basically.
So he was kind of the social guy of the partnership.
Yeah. And not to say he wasn't a hard worker, but
on his own time.
Right. Like he didn't want to be buttoned down to be working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Whereas Ed Shin, completely opposite. He worked bankers hours, not bankers hours, but business hours, 8 to 5, whatever.
More traditional.
Yep. Always dressed in a suit, had all the very nice things. Also, Chris was single. Ed had a family and kids. So
at this point in time, if Chris is around our age, he would be about 30 years old 30 years old at this time.
Yep, exactly. So, it was just it was a good partnership. They ended up, getting along pretty well and, obviously being pretty successful. But one thing Chris always talked about at this time was something called the moo, like a cow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the moo, in his opinion, are the people that plod along just like cows and kind of take whatever is told to them and take it, as fact and everything. Kind of sitting behind your farmer, just plodding along, be like, "Yep, everything's good, and just following somebody, not even knowing that they're about to get slaughtered.
So basically. Not thinking outside the box, just
sheeple. You ever
sheep.
hear?
Yeah, I've heard of sheep.
Yeah, right. But he called it the moo.
Okay,
for some reason. So. He's a tech entrepreneur. He wanted to be a little different.
He wanted to be a little edgy.
Yeah, exactly. So
the moo.
The moo, man. I don't want to be part of the moo. Not me, muchacho. So he just really hated people that were part of the moo. Like people who lived to work. They weren't aware of conspiracy theories around them, in his opinion.
Well, that's his opinion, it's like...
Yeah, well, no, not to him. I mean, to him, it's like you're an idiot, basically. Kind of like...
So he was a conspiracy theorist?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say that's accurate. Like the government was trying to control taking away your liberties. Pharmaceutical companies are purposely poisoning people to maximize on profits.
Okay.
Like, just basically... very similar to somebody I'm thinking of. And I think
I know who you're thinking about too. And, those things may or may not exist. I don't know. So I'm not going to spend my days worrying about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, yeah, there's definitely some truth to some of those things, but it's not like it's not like the whole world is being run by 3 people, because that would be, there'd have to be a lot of orchestrated effort for that kind of, success to be pulled off.
Right. And I know there's a lot of shady shit that happens.
For sure. Every single day in corporate America. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But it's not like there's 5 people running the entire world that are trying to do all these things together. So it's that kind of crazy shit, basically. So you'd be like, okay, Chris. Yeah. And, there's some truth, but it's just definitely, he went a little further than that. He was convinced that he was more in the know than the moo.
Okay.
Basically.
So he's looking down on these people that don't believe what he believes or doesn't work the schedule he works.
Exactly.
So he'd probably think I was part of the moo.
Yeah.
Because I work a quote unquote 9 to 5 job.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So, he would always do things outside of the moo. Like he'd invest a lot of his money into gold, because he thought that currency in the U.S. would someday explode and just become useless. Mm-hmm. Tons of inflation, just kind of like end of the world type stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot of people with a lot of money get into this kind of theory of trying to. I've been listening to this other podcast, My First Million. I listen to a lot of business podcasts, and there's people with money that just they don't know what to do with their money, so they start like doomsday preparing. And there's even people without money that do doomsday preparing. So it's doomsday scenarios.
Okay.
So. Or he talked to his friends about how, really his ultimate goal is to set up a small shop in Tahiti and just be able to surf all day, or maybe buy a farm in Costa Rica, and just kind of live off of some small profits there.
Yeah.
That his goal was to be able to work just enough to sell off a company and then just move somewhere where it's paradise.
I mean, that sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I am definitely not a live to work person at all.
Right.
I'm a hardworking person. I think it's important to have your, priorities on right, but I don't, strap myself to my desk and just sit there all day because I want to.
No. I'm
like, let's get this going so I can get home and be back to what I want to be doing.
Well, what's crazy is you get up super early in the morning and start working at home, like early, 4:30 in the morning, something like that.
Yes.
And you get to work where there's people that you work like near a kitchen. So you're a dietitian.
Yes.
And there's people that, might look at you and be like, oh, you're leaving already when it's like 2:00, but it's like, you've been working since 4:00.
Exactly. And I'm done. And that's just the point. It's like, I've done all my patient work. I'm not sitting here just for the next 2 hours because you think I should.
That is the point. One of my worst, actually, my worst job I've ever had was one where they made you sit at your desk until 5:00.
I mean, that's absurd.
Like, sure, there'd be times when I needed to work till 5:30 or 6 because I had some stuff to do.
Of course.
But I'm a human being and an adult, and you don't make me sit there at 5:00 on a Friday when I've been done with work since like 2, basically. So it's like, it was so maddening to me and so mentally draining. So, I get it. I get the 9 to 5 doesn't work. It's not a standard human thing. It's
and
ridiculous.
you shouldn't be punished for being efficient.
No, absolutely not. So there's been plenty of studies where the 4-day work week might even work better, and reduced hours too, because they say you fill the time that you have with the work.
Well, of course, there's times I'll stretch out my work because I'm like, oh, so and so is going to be shaking their head if I get up and leave at 12:45 or whatever.
Yes, and that's a natural human thing to do. Whereas if you were only given 4 hours to do your work,
I'd
probably still get it done.
I know I would,
and everybody else would too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's where he was like, you know what, I just want to get the hell out of this rat race.
Yes, I hear you because I'm in there too.
Yep. So like I was saying, their business was doing incredibly well, but Chris felt like he was quickly becoming part of this moo and didn't like it. He felt like he's working more hours, he's getting more into it. It's just like, this is not my life that I imagined here. So work did require a lot of more of his time, and he didn't like it. So less and less time to play, go in the direction he was really afraid of. So then one day, Chris was gone.
And it's hard because you want to make all this money, and with this money, it does take time and work and effort.
Sure. Yep.
So it's like you want the best of both worlds,
Yep.
So one day he was just gone.
Just gone. On June, in June of 2010, Chris was supposed to pick up his brother Paul and his family from the airport. So after a family vacation, they were coming back, and they were like, Chris, you pick us up? You're like, yep, I'll be there. Mm-hmm. And they flew in. Chris never showed up.
This never ends well.
Yep. No notes, no explanation, no call, no, whatever. I don't even know if texting was a thing here.
And normally he is a pretty reliable guy.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, you call and be like, yeah, I'm running late. Like,
yeah.
Nothing. So it's just like nothing, just off the grid completely. So the family right away, his parents and his brothers and everything, they go to Ed Shin right away, his business partner, and they're like, "Hey, have you heard anything? Like, he was supposed to pick me up at the airport. We don't have anything from him. Like, what's the last thing you heard from him?" Ed informed the family that Chris was done with the rat race, or the moo, and he said he sold his shares of 800 Exchange to Ed for $1 million, and he took the money and ran.
So he never informed his family that he was thinking about doing this?
Nope.
Like, that's a big decision.
It is. But I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit more here, but this isn't totally outside of the realm of possibility for him because he's such an adventurer.
Sure.
So it's kind of something that, okay, we'll see. So a few days later, on June 7th, 2010, Chris's parents got an email from Chris updating them on where he was. So this was good.
Okay.
They're like, okay, well, I'm going on vacation, probably 3-week trip to Galapagos Islands in Costa Rica. I'll let you know for sure by Friday.
Okay.
Love you too.
But didn't get to hear Chris's voice.
Right. So it was a little odd and sudden, and just, but not completely, like I said, crazy for someone like Chris, who's always out there just kind of doing his thing.
And he's single. He doesn't have kids or a wife or whatever. He can shoot off at the blink of an eye.
Yep. And he also dumped his girlfriend, who I think was also his fiance. Her name's Erica. I only read one place that it was fiance, and another place that just said girlfriend. So I'm pretty sure she was a fiance. But he also dumped her via text.
Oh.
And it was a long-time relationship, and this was a girl that he referred to as marriage material several times.
Yeah, and that would just be, she would be the one to know, like, is this possible?
Right.
I mean, it'd be like you texting me and saying, like, I want a divorce, and then disappearing.
Yeah, and in the research I did, it didn't seem like, I'm sure she was concerned and stuff, but at the same time hurt because she just got dumped via text.
It's like, is this like him? Because if you sent that to me, I'd be like, unless he had a mental breakdown, no, this is not Mike.
Well, me, not at all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She would know if he was capable of that.
I feel like she thinks he's capable of this.
Okay.
Yes. The by and large, the whole family thinks he's capable of this.
Okay.
So this isn't at all like, I mean, it's
Impossible.
It's kind of a dick move, basically. They're like, oh, he's being a dick. He's thinking about himself.
Yeah.
He's getting internal again about these conspiracy theories. He wants to run away.
But it's all possible.
But hey, good. He sold his shares for $1 million. Let the kid have some fun.
Sure.
Not kid,
we only
but he's-
get one life, blah, blah, blah.
Not kid. He's 32, but you know, your kids are forever your kids.
Of
basically.
course.
So, yeah, it was a little odd and sudden, but you know, again, not completely crazy. So he also texted his brother a picture of a former Playboy Playmate girlfriend. Her name was Tiffany Taylor, saying like, "Hey, check this out. Check this girl out that I'm hanging out with now. She's a Playboy Playmate. Not bad, huh?" And they're like, "Okay, yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, not
Congrats."
bad. Great.
And then the girlfriend, ex girlfriend, hears about it. She's like, "Oh, so he breaks up with me via text and goes hanging out with some
Yeah.
Playboy Playmate."
Just
here.
plunge the knife even further into my chest.
Oh, he was plunging something,
but
That's
it wasn't
for
a
sure.
knife.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, why this wasn't like typical, the kind of girl he would go for. They were also like, okay, he's kind of off the deep end here. He just wants to have a blast. He's got $1 million to blow. He's going to spend it with this girl and, you know, some arm candy or whatever he is in Thailand or wherever the hell he's going, Galapagos Islands and Costa Rica. So they're like, all right, yeah, well, you know, he's just traveling and having a great time. You know, hopefully he's fine and safe, basically. So the family ended up receiving several other emails from Chris over the following weeks. Said he was having a great time, always extending his trips to new exotic locations. I read some of the letters, and you know, they were all in the same, you know, just like Chris would always say, some spelling errors here and there, and just kind of quick stuff like, oh, went sailing, met this dude, he took me sailing here and there. You know, we were kind of thinking about doing some business ventures and this and that, just kind of keeping everybody updated what's going on. The emails continually updated the family and his whereabouts, where he was going, say he didn't want a cell phone so he could stay disconnected from the Matrix. Quote.
Okay, that's what I was wondering because I'm like, why hasn't he called anybody?
Yeah. So it was weird that he hadn't called, but at the same time, they're like, he's got to be having like a breakdown or something, or it's something, just some, you know, too stressed for life and whatever.
And I don't know what his relationship was with his mother, but
They don't talk about his mom at all.
okay, because I know, like, if it was my, and I'm not judging anybody, I'm
No,
just putting
maybe
myself.
maybe it was a great relationship.
Like,
I don't know.
I would expect my kid to call me and I want to hear your voice and know that everything's okay. Like, fine that you're doing this. You're an adult and you have this money, but I want to hear the tone in your voice. Do you sound well? Do you sound like you're mentally okay?
Right. Because
This is a big upheaval. Like, you've sold this business and boom, you're gone.
and it's dangerous traveling all these different places. You don't really know a lot. you know?
Yeah. But I'm not judging. I'm
No.
just.
No. Well, you're right, because at this point I say his family was concerned why he never ever called.
Yeah. So he didn't have a cell phone because of this Matrix.
Yeah, he didn't want to be connected to the Matrix. which he
AKA
called
like people hearing what he has to say.
just life and stuff in general. He wanted to
Okay.
get away and only connect when he wanted to.
Okay.
That was what the email said. But that still, they were, like you said, concerned.
Sure.
So yeah, they were in step lock with you, kind of thinking, okay, we want to hear from him and hear his voice.
That's
you know?
reasonable.
So around the second month of his disappearance, after initially saying he'll be gone for 3 weeks, now we're in 2 months in, this family started getting suspicious, especially his dad being a former cop.
Oh, okay.
So he's basically, cops are built to be suspicious all the time.
Sure.
And be looking around and just kind of taking in the inventory. You know, we have a very close police friend, and he's always looking around.
It's kind of like when you murder podcasts or
Yeah.
listen to them.
Right.
Like, I look at people in the parking lot and I assume they're murderers.
I consider myself basically a policeman.
No, I consider myself somebody that is suspicious of anyone that looks potentially amiss.
Yes.
And it could be a very innocent person just standing by their car, but in my mind, they're going to hit me over the back of the head and pull me into their car.
That pen is going to be plunged into your carotid artery.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's better to be prepared.
So I can't imagine a police mentality, like, you know.
Yep. So Chris's dad sent a email asking questions he felt only Chris would know.
Good.
Okay. So he goes, "What was the boat we had when you were a kid?"
Smart.
Back in 1992. And what was the lake that we lived next to? And he was basically saying like, "Hey, just to prove that you're you."
Yeah, absolutely. And the person, or maybe it's Chris and maybe it's not. And if it's not Chris, he's going to know that the dad is onto him.
Yep. So yeah,
Or
exactly.
her or whoever.
Right. Whether they answer this correctly somehow, some way or not, they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, they
are about
know.
to get real. So Chris took a little time to answer, but he answered them correctly.
Really?
Yep. So now I did a little research, and it seems like he only answered the lake question correctly and kind of ignored the boat question.
They just didn't answer it?
Yeah, that's what there's... Okay, I read several sources now, just so you guys know. I read several sources. In my professional opinion here, as a professional...
Well, you said you're a policeman, right?
Yeah, basically a policeman. In my professional police opinion... I'm just kidding, police officers.
Yes,
not you.
Mike is not claiming to be. He's just joking.
I'm joking. So I think it was just the lake one. Now, immediately when I read about this and I thought about it, I was thinking it's kind of easy to find what lake he lived next to, because you can pay $20 for a background check of anybody to get all the addresses they've ever lived at in their life. Right? Like I could get all your addresses, and like if you ever apply for credit, you'll see those questions like pick the street that was part of your life. You know, you see a street from college, you see a street from, you know, this place, this time in your life, this apartment, you know, whatever it might be. There's a list on your credit report that has all your addresses.
Right.
So, you know, and there's an easy way to get that kind of stuff. And
you'd still be guessing though.
No, well, maybe back then, but right now, I promise you, if you give me somebody's name and I can tell you what lake they grew up next to or what the store was across the street.
Okay. Oh, so it was the lake we grew or were next to, not the one we would go on vacation to.
No, it was near their house.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why he was a wakeboarder. It wasn't like a vacation. It was right by their house.
Okay, got it.
Yep. So that's pretty easy. So I don't know if the dad was just older and he thought that might be really hard, but I think with technology, especially Silicon Valley, you know, people pay private dick $100. I love saying private dick, by the way. And
very mature of you, Mike.
Thank you. So okay, he answered that one, and then people were saying, you know, what was the boat we had? That was much harder. Like maybe he could talk to his brother, Paul or something. So I'm also going to mention later. Paul actually works at the 800 Exchange.
Oh.
Chris got him a job earlier.
Okay.
Early in 800 Exchange, just to be able to work with him and stuff. So maybe he had a conversation with Paul and he just kind of brought it up like, oh, hey, but do you know anything about boats? You know, I'm looking to get a boat. Like, have you ever had one? And then you get that, oh yeah, did you guys like name it or something? You know, like he could get it that way.
So you were suggesting that this person who may or may not be Chris was emailing the brother on the side to potentially get this information.
Right.
Okay.
Correct. So,
but he did not answer the question about the boat name.
I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I know that.
But it seems like he didn't.
It seems like he didn't, but it was enough to be like, okay, well, he answered a question correctly, so
we're good.
Yeah, I don't think this isn't a red flag where I'm going to the cops right this second.
So this relieved the father's suspicions?
A little bit. So months went by again. Now it's October. And 800 Exchange was still doing really well. One thing... I said it right here. So Paul got into the business from his brother, Chris. So Paul was the guy that he was supposed to pick up, and he never did. So Paul got into the business early on, still actively working at the company. So anyways, it's October 2010, and things are going so well that Ed Chin, the co-owner, he is now the sole CEO of the company after the buyout. He flew the entire staff out to Las Vegas for the purposes of partying and securing new clients.
Okay. And you know what I was thinking is that when Chris sold out for like $1 million, I thought in my head, like, you could be missing out on like tens of millions of dollars if you just stuck around a little longer.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would miss out on a potential windfall.
But at the same time, he wanted to get out as soon as possible.
I get it.
So maybe in 32, he's $1 million. I don't think $1 million's a lot in California.
No, I don't think so at all, especially if you want to ditch the whole 9 to 5 and just surf and this and that. Like, you want to go out knowing you're set for life.
Yeah. And I mean, that will make you set for life in Costa Rica.
Yeah. So, I guess. But he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that wants to settle for less than what he could get.
Yeah, I think I would picture more like 10 million.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
I wouldn't, want to just go out with $1 million.
Well, in the U.S., you wouldn't survive the rest of your life. So anyways, yeah, he flew out the entire company to Las Vegas and was like, all right, let's party it up a little bit. Great job so far. And also let's meet some new clients, new businesses we can do some business with here. So Chris's brother Paul is hanging out at the party, and who do you think walked into the party?
Not Chris.
Not Chris.
I mean, I don't know.
Former Playboy playmate Tiffany Taylor.
Interesting. Well, here you go. What are the odds of that?
I know. Crazy, right?
This is just a fluke?
Kind of.
Okay.
So I can kind of tell you. If you remember to ask me about it later, I could tell you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be curious about this, that Chris happened to send a picture like, oh, look who I'm with. And then she walks into this Vegas place.
Yeah, I think it'll come together a little bit, but if I don't specifically mention it, then definitely ask me. So yes, it was Tiffany Taylor, the Playboy Playmate, who the brother, Chris, had been spending a ton of time with and all these adventures. So, Paul's excited to kind of walk over there and be like, okay, what have you guys been up to? Where are some of the places you've gone? Ask some questions. How's he been, man? He's been weird, not calling us at all. So, Paul goes over and he introduces himself, and Tiffany just kind of blankly stares at him and is like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I don't know your brother. I haven't been with the guy.
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea. Seriously, none. And
talk about a sick feeling.
just kind of like, you don't know if she's like thinking you're just some creep that's trying to make something up or, whatever it might be, but just blank. Just like, no, I never hang out with your brother. I don't even know who he is.
I'm sure he believed her.
Oh, totally. Yeah, of course. So that's definitely troubling at this point.
Oh, that would be game over.
Yeah. So at this time, emails were coming. Chris was saying he was in India, Africa, Europe, pretty much all over the globe. One of the emails said, the past year and a half has been such a nightmare for me. And I even contemplating doing some unspeakable things to myself because I was so stressed, angry, scared, and confused. So he's starting to set up like
a goodbye.
Yes, basically. So emails were erratic, talking about drug use and obviously suicidal, like I talked about there. At one point, Chris had an idea. He had an idea in an email. He said he wanted to start a new company and he wanted Paul to help him set it up, but they needed a good chunk of change to do so. And his plan was to sell all of his gold in Africa while he's in Africa, which didn't sound exactly safe, obviously. You're going to have a shitload of gold and you're going to try to sell it. There's going to be somebody that's going to be after you, just shady business dealings. And here's another email from Chris around this time. Just realized it's Christmas. Is it snowing in Bend? It's summer down here with it being so warm. I'm headed back up through the Congo. I'll be offline for a couple of weeks. Paid some dude $100 just to be online. LOL. I found a dealer in Rwanda that will pay a 30% markup on gold Kruger, which are coins that are made from gold out there. So, and that was his last email. Never sent another one again. Ugh. So his mom was worried sick, even browsing Rwandan message boards just to see if there's any talks of like a gold deal going down or something where it would make some sense. Oh yeah, I found a white dude here. Who knows where he's from? Just trying to be desperate to try to find something about her son.
But at this point in time, they know that the whole Tiffany thing was a lie. Are they thinking that this could be some dude sitting in California just messaging about Africa and the Congo and gold?
Yeah, everything's up for debate right now.
Do they have police involvement?
Chris's dad contacted the U.S. State Department.
Okay.
Hoping to find where Chris's passport was last used. He provided a bunch of dates and emails to kind of help him out, being like, here, he was here at this date, he was here at this date. Can you see if any of them track back to his passport use? The problem, Chris's passport had not been used in years.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Just like he never left America.
So we know he never left.
Yep. Well, we're pretty sure.
How would he have gotten to Africa and wherever else it was he was going without using his passport? This is like deja vu to the other story you were telling us about the McStay family.
Yeah. This is, you're actually asking the perfect questions as I'm about to tell you some stuff. So good job.
I talk too much. Sorry.
No, not at all. This is actually perfect. You ask the questions everybody's wondering.
Yeah, but then you're going to eventually get to it and I've just wasted your time.
No, it's right now. So the family contacted Ed Shin. Since they know he was absolutely the last person to talk to him since before we were heading out. Mm-hmm. So he told the family that Chris was in a contact with a fixer who had sold Chris a fake passport.
Oh, why would he want to? So that he can't be traced?
Yeah, so he wouldn't be traceable while traveling for some reason.
I don't think so.
Then it's like,
why would he do that?
Fixer. I mean, he had a perfectly good passport. He wasn't doing anything illegal.
Yeah, he's not doing anything illegal. Why would he possibly do that?
Unless they think maybe the FBI is trying. Although, with Chris being such a conspiracy theorist, maybe it's like, well, he had a lot of gold. He didn't want people to know about it.
But who would know about it?
The U.S. government, maybe. I don't know. Don't yell at me. Why are you so mean? But then, so right around then, the Laguna Beach Police Department took over the case.
Yeah.
And they started questioning Ed Shin.
Oh, that's a good place to start.
Asking things like, how much money was your company making? He answered that in the first 5 months, the company made $1 million in revenue, and about 80% of it was profit. Mm-hmm. So about $800,000 in profit.
And in 1 month, you said?
In about 5 months.
5 months.
Yep. And the third year, they made about $5 to $8 million, which I thought was weird because he's a numbers guy, and it's like, did you make 5 or did you make 8? That's kind of
that's a big difference.
Yeah,
that's a $3 million difference.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I don't get that. Maybe it depends on the side of the business you're looking at or something. I guess there's a bunch of things that can go into it. But he was always thinking about making a bunch of money and taking off with it, is what he was saying to the police. He wanted to go to Costa Rica permanently.
Ed?
That's what... So Ed is saying this about Chris
I'm
to
like,
the police.
Ed sounds like he's mirroring what Chris wants.
Sorry, no, the police was questioning
Okay,
Ed.
got it.
Yeah. So Ed also went into how Chris was into the economic collapse of the United States and how he's into the conspiracy theories, like we talked about, and how there's only a few people that control everything in the U.S. and the rest of us are puppets. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of makes sense. He's like, okay, well, he didn't want to, be trackable, and he was a crazy conspiracy theorist. Like that's kind of the picture that Ed's painting about Chris. Mm-hmm. So Ed also said that Chris signed the papers to sell his shares of the company and just went off the deep end kind of immediately. Ed said at one point Chris trashed the office, breaking bottles of wine everywhere, and he said we came in the morning and Chris smelled like piss and vomit.
What?
Yeah, like he just kind of blacked out and pissed himself and puked all over the place.
Was Chris ever known to be, erratic like this?
Not from the research I've done, but at the same time, he's a kind of a party guy, so I don't think it's totally crazy when he just sold, maybe he views himself as super, successful now, and he sold the company, and he just kind of...
Why would you trash an office and break a bunch of wine bottles and then piss on yourself and vomit on yourself?
Well, because Ed came in the next day and was like, why'd you trash the place? And Chris said he had no clue, and that he must have completely blacked out.
Okay, blackout drunk.
Yeah, he said he was doing some programming for actually writing scripts for the commercials that they were doing. But he was on Lunesta and was also doing cocaine to counter the effects of the Lunesta.
Wowzers. Why would you take Lunesta if you want to stay awake and do work?
Well, because, people that use it recreationally, like Lunesta and what's the Ambien?
Oh, I guess I didn't realize people do that.
Yeah.
They take a sleeping pill and then try to stay up?
Yeah, because then
sounds like a nightmare.
You feel like crazy, I guess, or whatever.
Why would you want to feel crazy?
People are crazy. People like drugs, Allison.
I don't like drugs. Drugs are bad.
Stay away from drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs.
Yep. So just a complete mess. And he's like, I have no idea what I did. When you're walking around an Ambien or whatever, like we don't know. We've never taken it, but you've heard those stories about people driving to the work and not even knowing.
I actually did take Ambien once, like 13 years ago.
Oh.
And remember, I wrote a blog post?
Yes, and you don't even remember it.
No. And that was the last time I ever took it. I was having horrific sleep problems, and so I was prescribed Ambien, and I only took it like maybe 3 times. But I was like, Mike, did you put a blog post on my blog? And you were like, no. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, you came out here and wrote it. And I was like, what? That was scary.
Yeah. And people are probably questioning your blog. Like, it never got big or anything.
No, it was only for baby pictures and such like that.
Basically, so the family, before like Facebook even?
Oh, I think so. Oh, yeah, it was before Facebook.
Like, we want something to look back on. We wanted it for our own family to look back on.
Yeah, because, we're from Illinois and we were living in Florida, so other people could check in and see pictures of Cameron as a baby.
And actually updated the website as Cameron was born.
Uh-huh.
I think people on the blog saw it before your mom, who was at the hospital with us.
Yeah, they saw that. That was, I think, I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, those sleeping pills are like no joke.
Yes. So, he blacked out, and that was the story. So now we get to January 2011. The 800 Exchange Company was nowhere to be found. They left the office they were renting, and they owed about $40,000 in rent to the landlord. So the landlord was pissed because he was looking for this company who's supposed to be renting from him, owes him $40,000 for having the space, and is just gone. He comes in, he's like, holy shit, they're gone. They just left.
Just cleared out and left.
Yep. So he couldn't find Ed, the owner, at this time. But Paul had also left the company by this time as well.
Oh, so Paul was not even involved at this point.
Right. Okay. He had left. He's like, I don't even know what he was doing. But
got it.
Lucky for the landlord, he was right next to a private dick again. So another private dick.
Private dick.
Private investigator who took the case to find 800 Exchange, where they were currently doing business. So relatively quickly, they found out the 800 Exchange was in another business park a few miles down the road and in another office.
And if they're generating such revenue, why don't you just pay your $40,000 rent?
I don't know. The investigator also looked at the Chris Smith case when he found out about Chris's disappearance. Because, he's an investigator and he's curious. He's just like, so the guy is just
Disappeared.
He sold it and he disappeared, and the family hasn't heard from him. They don't know, and he knows it's a little fishy here. So immediately he felt like the emails were being faked. He's just like, yeah, this doesn't seem right. The investigator asked if he could look around the old 800 exchange office, which it turned out the police never did.
What?
Yeah.
So the police must have believed that this was Chris because there was no big digging.
Yeah. They must
If
have
you
been,
didn't even look in the office, there was no digging happening.
I mean, I know you and I, like to look at like equal parts and not like blame somebody, but I think that's a pretty huge oversight.
Well, it's just assuming that this was Chris in Africa or whatever, and he used a fake passport and blah blah blah. You're assuming that because you didn't look.
Basically, it's like, I'll believe any story you tell me.
Oh yeah, okay, that sounds good. All right, no, we're all good here. That was Chris.
Yeah,
he just wanted to be off the grid.
Even though the Playmate never, wasn't real, and we've never heard from this guy. We're just going to take your story for fact and just not even investigate anything. Is basically what the police did in Laguna Beach.
I wonder what the parents were doing at this point. It's like, this is not my son that's emailing me. I know it. Like a parent would know.
Oh, they at this point they know. They're like, something's fucked here.
Yeah.
So when looking through the office, this private investigator, he noticed there were some small dark stains
Oh my gosh.
in Chris's old office on the light switch and in the door jamb.
Okay.
Yep, stains that looked like blood. So they called in police who used that luminol
Yes.
to find traces of DNA. They found it all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Lit up like a Christmas tree, they say. So they sampled the findings and confirmed it was Chris's blood.
That sucks.
They even found some on the ceiling, on
What
the walls,
the hell?
like just kind of
A bloodbath.
yeah, basically. So it turned out in the weeks before Chris took his trip, quote unquote, Chris wanted to get out of the company. So he had told some people, he's like, I just kind of want to get out of this thing and whatever. And
It was going in the direction he didn't want to go in.
yes. And not because he wanted to necessarily get away, but because he found out Ed Shin was involved in some shady deals.
So he didn't want to be part of that.
Yes. So it wasn't necessarily about getting away. It was more about getting away from Ed Shin.
No association any longer. Cut ties. I don't want to be associated with this guy.
Yep. Ed Shin had some money issues long before he co-founded the 800 Exchange with Chris. So through church, back before he even met Chris, Ed Shin met a guy named Joseph Gray. Joseph Gray gave Ed a job to run his successful company called LG Technologies,
Okay.
which was pretty much the exact same kind of company as 800 Exchange, just selling these leads to other businesses. I don't want to say shady, but it's like just not thankful work. It's like when I sold copiers, like people aren't like, ooh, you sell copiers around.
Yeah.
Wow, really helping the world. Like it's just kind of like, or car dealer. It's just kind of like, it's looked at as kind of like, just kind of shady or whatever. Not shady, just, whatever. So, like I said, the same kind of company as 800 Exchange. Ed changed the accounting information at LG. So Ed's actually running this company. This guy was nice enough to give him like the entire company, basically. I don't know how, like he was young and an up and comer, very successful. Like I said, very smart kid and all that. And he's like, here, why don't you run this company for me? Maybe he wanted, this guy, Joseph Gray, wanted to go run another company while this one's being run successfully.
So obviously he trusted Ed.
Yeah, because he met him through church. And, so Ed Shin set up all the money so that it was deposited directly into his own private bank account.
Oh my goodness.
Like
People, why?
this is easily trackable. Like
Why?
for such a smart guy, I don't get. Like I'm sure he had some scheme set up where it wasn't like his checking account or something.
Yeah,
but
because it would be glaringly obvious that you're doing this.
I'm sure he set up another business account, but it was one that only Ed had access to. So like anytime somebody paid the company, they're paying Ed Shin.
And not even just like siphoning a little here and a little there, like just taking it all.
Yes, every piece of revenue was coming to Ed.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Because you would think if he wanted to be under wraps, it's like, I'll put 10% out of each
Correct.
dealing.
Yeah, or create a shadow company or shell company and be like, hey, we got to pay this this commercial company for coming up with these scripts.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you should be shady.
Well, that's the better way to do it, though.
But less obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're begging to be caught.
So he ended up making about $2 million this way. $2 million just being able to skim. I mean, not skimming off the top, getting all the money. And so Joseph went after him for the money, obviously. The court ordered Ed to pay back around $700,000, which I don't know why it wasn't the full $2 million, but
So he gets to keep 1.3 million.
I guess so. I don't know. Or else that he'd go to jail. So Ed also owed about $117,000 to a company that printed sports memorabilia magazines. I don't know how that happened.
So he's big in the hole here.
Yeah. On top of another debt $175,000 in gambling debt.
Holy cow.
So Shin loved to gamble in Vegas. Like,
Sounds like it.
and he loved to be like a high roller and treated well. Like he just like got off on that shit. Like a big deal. He's like, yeah, I'm the man. You know?
I always say that's small penis syndrome.
Oh, total small penis, as our kids know as well. You mention that a lot of times when we see
somebody's like racing down the street with their like super loud car. I'm like, clearly he has a small penis.
Yeah, gigantic truck or a very fast car.
Yeah.
So a handler at one of the casinos, that was interviewed about this. He remembers at one point Ed Shin lost $140,000 in an hour of blackjack.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So this is the exact kind of guy that they want in Vegas as much as possible.
Of course. He just lost 100. Do you say 140?
$140,000 in 1 hour.
How is that possible?
60 minutes.
What kind of table was he sitting at?
High rollers table, I guess.
Yikes.
So this is why they gave him private jets to fly out whenever he wanted.
Of course.
Set him up in nice dinners and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm getting comped. I'm getting it for free. No, dude, you're not getting it for free. When people say they're comped and, oh, yeah, look at what the casinos, like, this is a money-making business. You're not getting shit for free.
Well, they are getting it for free, but it's in exchange for what they're...
How much are they in the hole in this casino?
Right. They're about to trade that $5,000 of value for about $20,000 to $30,000 of profit for the
Unbelievable.
The casino. Yeah, the casinos aren't stupid. I would say they're there for a reason.
I'm not a gambler, so I can never wrap my head around.
I kind of hate gambling. Like it's against you. It's like you're not winning. It's mathematically made so you don't win.
You're not winning.
And if you win this time, you're going to lose next time.
Unless you're somebody that sets aside X money and you go very like rarely if ever and you do win. Okay, fine. Yes, you won.
Sure.
But in the grand scheme of things, you are not winning.
The law of averages, you're going to end up losing your money. So, when I go to Vegas, it's going to bring a few $100. Expect it to be totally gone.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pace yourself. And
it's entertainment purposes.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, this was, just the way he liked doing things. This handler would like set up, nice dinners or go to clubs and stuff and bring out like models and set them up and just so they'd hang out with him and stuff like that.
It's like, dude, they're not hanging out with you because they think you're cool. They're getting paid to hang out with you.
Yeah, but he's just felt like such a cool dude because all these hot girls were hanging out with him. And he knew they were models being paid to hang out with him.
I would feel so dirty.
So this guy, Ed, I want to paint this picture. He's a piece of shit, right? So I think
it sounds like you're painting a pretty solid picture here.
I think we can agree on that. So they bring Ed Shin back in for questioning, obviously. Eventually, he admitted that he had killed Chris Smith on June 4th, 2010.
My gosh. That's so sad.
Yep.
For money.
But here's the story he came up with. Ed stuck with the piss and vomit story. He said they started pushing and shoving. He's like, yeah, he just got blackout drunk. I'm like, then all of a sudden, so the story changed from he got blackout drunk and he left to he got blackout drunk. I came in the office this morning. I saw that everything was moved around. I'm like, what the hell do you think you're doing in my office? Whatever. So he added to the story saying we got into a shoving match at this point. And so, the words were exchanged. He came at me. And all of a sudden he tripped and hit his head on his desk. And he was laying there bleeding.
And that's when you call 911.
Right. So you hit the head on the corner of the desk. So what did Ed do? He called a Russian associate.
Oh, or 911 or a Russian associate,
Yeah, he wanted to call his Russian associate named Johnny Vegas Kaponin.
This is a Russian person named Johnny Vegas Kaponin?
Well, his nickname is Vegas.
And
it's probably
Johnny Kaponin?
It's probably like Jonas Kaponin or something like that. But Johnny Vegas Kaponin, who sent an associate who would make Chris's body disappear.
Oh, okay.
And that's all he knows.
Because if you were being shoved and whatever and somebody accidentally in a blackout stupor fell and hit their head, you'd just call 911.
Right. Well, no, you would want to call your associate to get rid of the body.
Of course.
So Ed doesn't remember exactly who came in to get the body. He said he didn't know them. They just got it and it was gone. Doesn't know where they took it, all that stuff.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So the same date that these men met, Chris and Ed, to sell the company and all that stuff, Chris sent an email address to his lawyer, or at least someone sent an email address from Chris's email account, saying that he sold his shares of the company for $30,000 in 10 gold coins, worth about $15,000. So about $45,000 in all, not the $1 million that he had previously mentioned. So then Ed happened to have rented a truck at the same time. Okay, rented a truck. And Ed took this truck to a remote area of the desert, 170 miles east of San Diego, near the Mexico border, because he was pinged on his cell phone. They found out. Ed did this twice and it was confirmed, like I said, by mobile phone pings. Certainly he wasn't burying his ex-partner. You don't think?
Of course he was.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. So the reason Ed drove out there was totally logical, was that he was so distraught from having killed his partner that he just wanted to get away from it all.
Clear his head.
Just
out
get
in
away.
the desert.
Yeah. He said, well, he was thinking about going to Mexico because it was near the border. He's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just leave this country and go to Mexico, leave his wife and children and whatever, just be like, yeah, but he decided against it. And then he went back one more time and then
just to double check that he was sure he didn't want to do this.
Went to the same area, double checked, and he's like, no, still don't want to go.
Okay, so did the cops go out to this area where he's pinging?
They did. Yep. And didn't find anything. Unfortunately. So, but this is the same police force that didn't
look in the office.
Yes.
That the office lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yes. So, Ed insisted that, and the reason he drove out there, like I said, was that he was thinking of moving to Mexico. And so instead of fleeing to Mexico, he decided to send some emails on Chris's behalf.
And pretend that he was off the grid and traveling the world.
Yep, he said he felt bad, so he just wanted to make people think that Chris was still alive.
It's like, did you think that, well, I guess he was setting it up that Chris was going to commit suicide or get himself in a really big pickle with the African gold and this and that.
Right.
So he was setting it up to end the story.
Yep. And, obviously, as like you said, the office lit up like a Christmas tree. You got to think, like, what the hell? Ed didn't, like, try to cover it up or anything?
Get new carpet?
Yeah.
Scrub the ceiling?
So it turned up he did try to cover it up. At one point, the 800 exchange was closed for a week. All employees were told to work remotely because they said that Chris just messed up the office, that he pissed and...
broke the wine.
Yeah, broke the wine, and that it wasn't safe for them to come in. So he hired a cleaning crew to come in.
Okay, they did a really shitty job.
Yeah, I guess so.
What did they do for the week?
Well, they probably wiped it off, but maybe like DNA stayed there or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
you'd think they'd be painting and replacing ceiling tiles and carpet.
Which is probably why he wanted to move.
Yeah.
I would guess. So the cleaners asked about all the blood because it was all over this room. I mean, I'm sure Ed wiped it up, some of it, but it was still a shitload of blood.
Oh my gosh.
But, rest assured, Ed said that he cut himself while cutting an apple.
It's like, sir, did you hemorrhage? Because you seem to be fine to me.
Were you attempting a suicide at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Chris just fell, why was there blood on the ceilings, on the walls?
No.
Why was it all over the place? Like, this was a scene that was a clear, like, something happened. Murder scene, whether it was a stabbing or a beating or, some kind of splatter analysis.
Right.
Was like, shit went down at this office.
No head was hit and got on the ceiling.
Yep. So instead of giving Chris money, Ed decided he would kill Chris and bury his body in the desert. So Chris was definitely coming at Ed at this time and being like, hey, I want to get out of this. I want, pay me $1 million. And we'll just call it what it is.
Yeah, and why not just let that happen? Because he didn't want to pay him $1 million?
Yeah, Ed didn't have $1 million.
Okay, because he's so in the hole.
Correct. Ed needed this to keep on going. It was probably stealing shit from the same company too, or at least, preparing to.
Right.
And so once Chris, the smart guy, was like, you're going to screw me too, buddy.
Yes.
I'm out of here. So basically he got out at a perfect time, but didn't know he was dealing with a psychopath.
Yeah, Ed wanted to just get rid of Chris.
Yeah. So Ed figured it was much easier just to kill him and then send emails to his family and give them hope for a year, months down the road.
Unbelievable.
Yep. So like I said, police went out to the area where his phone was pinged, but couldn't find location of the body. To this day, the body has not been found.
So Ed told them where he was buried?
No.
But you're admitting all of this. Why not just say where you buried him?
Ed is sticking to the story about somebody took the body.
Okay, but we know that that's likely not the case.
Ed's also saying that there's a secret behind it and he can't reveal it.
Uh-huh.
He wants to be this mysterious, like, cool guy that's like, you'll know eventually or whatever.
And you have no money. Why would a Russian guy come and take the body? Like, you don't even have any money to pay this guy.
Yeah. I mean, well, maybe he pays him 10 or 15 grand. He has 10 or 20 or 30 grand.
But not the kind of money that, like $1 million.
Right. He has some liquid money because he's getting paid every, couple weeks or whatever from the business. But so in 2018, Ed's trial finally started, which was 7 years after he was arrested and charged. So,
why?
Because legal just delays things. They challenge different things that were brought up to the table, evidence, and just kind of challenging things. It's insane how long these things go.
Yeah.
Right?
So for 7 years, he was in prison, though?
Yes.
Okay.
So he can't remember exactly what happened, thinks Chris may have hit him, but remembers throwing Chris to the office and thinks Chris took a couple steps and was trying to choke me. And I remember saying, when Chris hit his head, I said, oh my God, several times. I was so worried. And they were like, do you regret not calling the police? He said, yeah, I regret. I should have called the police immediately, blah, blah, blah. So the jury got together, and in less than an hour, they came back, found Ed Shin guilty, sentenced him to life in prison, and he's sticking to the story of this being an accident.
But the blood spatter on the ceiling clearly tells that this is not how Chris died. And it's like, obviously that was said to Ed in court or wherever. Like, this spatter analysis confirms that he didn't fall back and hit his head on the desk. What really happened?
Right.
Like, just own up. You're in jail. Like, fess up to what you actually did.
Yeah, he's just such a narcissist, just that whole thing.
At least give the parents closure that they find the body and they can bury their son or whatever it is they want to do with his remains.
Yeah, and they know he's out there somewhere. It's
That's sad.
So sad.
It's amazing what people are willing to do for money.
Yep.
It always amazes me because I'm just not like that. Yep. I know I've talked about it before. Like, I just want enough money to be able to be comfortable in life, and I just can't wrap my head around that somebody would just kill somebody.
Well, money becomes like your idol, basically. It becomes everything that you think about, and you're thinking, holy shit, if I don't have money, I'm screwed. I'm letting down me, my family, whatever. And it's really, I mean, it's nice to have a good amount of money, but at the same time, it's not the most important thing. Just like lower the way you live or something.
But of course, this is a guy that's in a casino with paid models around him.
Yeah,
and also, didn't he have a wife and kids?
Yes.
Why did he have models around him?
Just to have girls that are interesting. Oh, and they would probably have sex with him too. So,
ew.
Yeah, he was a disgusting piece of shit. So anyways, so that's the end of the story. But you remember the Playboy model?
Yes.
So that's where I think Ed was probably interacting with her in Vegas. So she was one of the models hired to kind of hang out with Ed and his friends. Ed would take all of his friends to these places, and he would make sure that his handler did not tell his friends that he was paying for these models. So
because he wanted to impress them?
Yes. So he wanted to go out and the girls come around right away. They go to a club and he's like, see, watch. Usually hot chicks come up to me just because they know like I'm a big deal here.
Oh, that's so sad.
And so they'd come up and his friends would be like, oh, and they would get paid and they would do other things at the end of the night too and whatever. So this was probably one of the girls. So he's like, oh, I'll include this on an email. Hey, look, I'm hanging out with this. So it was through Ed Shin that he met this girl in Vegas, and
then it came back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, like a dumbass.
I wonder if he saw Chris's brother talking to the model, and he's like, oh crap, the jig is up.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe he didn't, and maybe that's why Paul wasn't killed by Ed.
Because that was probably a big thing, talking to this former Playboy model and being like, oh, she didn't spend time with Chris.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah. See, had he not included that detail, it probably would have gone on longer.
And then some of the other things I thought about was that fiance of Chris's, she gets dumped via text and sees, he's just gallivanting around the world thinking that his life is better without me. So the whole time he was dead.
That's sad. So sad.
Yeah. So they could have had this life together. It was working out really well so far, and just
that's awful.
And you're the parents, you're thinking he's alive. Like, you could have known that your son was dead already. But
and then you're thinking, gosh, he's just like off the grid and like totally fine with being away from us. He didn't pick us up at the airport. He just disappears. Like, it's like we don't even know our son.
Yeah.
No, he was killed.
Yep. So that's the story of Chris Smith and Ed Shin.
Very sad.
Yeah. So, hey, well, thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate the time. Tell your friends, tell your wives, tell your mothers, tell your sisters. I saw we got a bunch of listeners from Amazon Audible. So super cool. Thanks for leaving reviews. There's a few great ones up there, and we really appreciate it. We read every single one. And reach out to us on social media, Crime and Coffee 2, like I mentioned. I read everybody's message, and I'll get back to you, So thanks for all the suggestions. Keep them coming. And we just really, truly appreciate you for these 10,000 listens, and let's get to like 100,000.
We would love it.
Let's build this ship.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here, and until next time, we'll see you then. Bye. Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Cheers. Bye. Bye. Bye.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.